Welcome to the Coastin With Quayz series, where I hit the road for a coaster-packed adventure across North America. Ride along as I conquer record-breaking roller coasters, explore new parks, and earn new coaster credits. 9 parks, 12 days, thousands of miles of thrills. This is an ultimate amusement park road trip. This is Coaster Tour North America. Coming up on this episode, I visit Canada's Wonderland in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada for the first time, and while I'm there, I see firsthand how crazy busy this park gets. As the day goes on, I start to figure out the crowds, and I get some great rides on amazing coasters like Fury, and I even get my 200th credit. So stay tuned for episode 4 of Coaster Tour North America, Canada's Wonderland. What's going on, everybody? Quayz here, coming at you with the Coaster Tour North America, episode 4 at Canada's Wonderland. I am so excited to be at this park. I've been wanting to come to this park for years and years and years. And driving up, the skyline looks absolutely amazing. You've got Leviathan, you've got Fury, the brand new coaster for this year, Yukon Striker, Behemoth, and so many more, because there's 18 coasters here. The park's not even open yet, and already this place is mobbed, and it's a Thursday. So hopefully I can get on a lot of rides today, but I am here for 2 days. So whatever I can't get on today, I'll be able to get on tomorrow. The plus, though, is that today I'm going to be getting my 200th coaster credit. It should be my 7th ride of the day, and I'm hoping to have that be Leviathan. So, come along with me into Canada's Wonderland. Let's get those credits, let's get those rides, and we'll see you in the park. If you can do me a huge favor, please subscribe to the channel. Wow, look at the entrance to this park. This is gorgeous. You've got Wonder Mountain straight ahead, the brand new Premier Rides Fury launching coaster that flies out of Wonder Mountain. I'm so excited for this day. There goes Fury now. My goal is to make it down International Street and get to Fury and try to get on that right away, but I don't know if that's the best option right now because of the crowds that are here. I knew that this park was very, very popular, and I knew that it had the highest attendance, or like the top 2 highest attendance in the whole Cedar Fair legacy chain, but I wasn't expecting it to be this crowded this early. But it is what it is, so let's see what we can get on. All I know is that Leviathan needs to be my 7th credit today. There she is, Wonder Mountain in all her glory. I'm blown away by how nice this park is. It is so nice. Like, everything is immaculate. I love it already. One thing I love about a park that has 18 roller coasters is that no matter where you look, there's just constantly roller coasters flying everywhere. And this park has some big boys. I mean, Leviathan's a giga. Yukon Striker is the tallest B&M dive coaster. They've got Behemoth, the B&M Hyper. So many great rides. Alright, made it into the Alpenfest area. You have one roller coaster, Thunder Run, and then Fury over here. You've got the Fly, which is the Wild Mouse behind it. The Vekoma Boomerang in the distance there, the Bat. So, let's see what we can get on. Alright, Fury has a single rider line, so I think I'm actually going to get into that to start. Okay, change of plans. I got into the single rider line, and in about 15-20 minutes, I moved like 5 feet. There's just too many people going to Fury right away. I wanted it to be my first credit of the day, but there's so many other rides that have like 15-minute waits, so I'll get on that stuff, and then I'll get Fury later. Alright, I'm going to enter Kid Zone because there's a couple coasters back here, Ghoster Coaster and Silver Streak, so let's see if we can get on those. Well, there's Silver Streak, but this area doesn't open until noon, so not getting on here. Man, I feel like I'm making some mistakes here today, but this stuff's liable to happen. Let's see what we can get on. Okay, made it into Planet Snoopy, and now we're at the Ghoster Coaster. Alright, got my first credit here at Canada's Wonderland on the Ghoster Coaster. It's pretty much the same wooden coaster that they have at King's Dominion and Carowinds, but I love these. They're a lot of fun. Great first ride for kids. So, got one credit in the books, 194. Let's move on to the next. So the Silver Streak opens in like 5 minutes, so since I'm right next to it, I'm going to pretty much go over there and just try to get that credit real quick before the line gets real long for it. And this is everyone waiting at the rope right next to Silver Streak, so we're moving on. Alright, I had to pick up my stuff from a locker by Alpenfury, and the bat, the Vekoma Boomerang, is right next to that. And it was set to be opening for the day in 15 minutes. A worker came out and said it would be open in 15 minutes, and I was like 12th person in line, so I'm like, perfect. Well, we're waiting for like 15, 20 minutes, and then they come out and say that it's going to be delayed another like 45 minutes. Okay, so I'm regrouping. I'm going to the other side of the park. I'm going to go over to Flight Deck, Vekoma SLC, and just kind of get that credit over with. But according to the app, all the coasters on the other side of the park have much shorter waits. So, looking in hindsight, that probably should have been where I started today. But I'd never been here before, so I'm learning. But we're going to go over there, see if it's any better, see if we can start adding some coasters. The good news is this park is open from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. So I have all day, and I have all day tomorrow. So I'm not worried. I'm just going to enjoy my day and have some fun. All right, nobody's in line for Flight Deck, so we're going to get a ride on that. Alright, there's credit number 2 of the day, Flight Deck, and I'll be honest with you, it actually wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. I've heard horror stories about this ride. It does have the old Vekoma, like hard shell restraints, but it has soft padding on the top, so although your head does bang a lot, it doesn't really hurt. It's still not comfortable, and it's still incredibly rough, and it's still only one ride that I'm going to get on it today for that credit, but not horrible. It should have only been like a 10 or 15 minute wait, but the ride went down when I was in line, so it ended up being about a 45-minute wait. But I didn't want to get out of line, because I got out of line already for Alpenfury. I had to get out of line for the bat since that closed down, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay, I'm going to get the ride, and then I'll move on. And that's what I did. So I'm going to keep moving in this side of the park towards things like Behemoth, Mindbuster, and so forth. Alright, I am making my way back to Behemoth and Mighty Canadian Mindbuster. And this part of the park definitely seems a little bit quieter. I mean, there's still people here, and I'm sure there's still going to be some waits for rides, but I think tomorrow, this is where I'm going to come first. Alright, Behemoth is an 80-minute wait. Mighty Canadian Mindbuster's a 70-minute wait. This morning, these rides were like 10 minutes. I'm kicking myself. I should have come back here first. I always go to the back of the park first, but I was like, oh, you know what? If I get to Alpenfury right away, it'll be fine. It wasn't. So I still need to figure out what I want to do here. Yukon Striker over here saying 50-minute wait, so maybe I'll try to get on that. I don't mind waiting 50 minutes for that, and then I can make my way back over towards Leviathan. All right, made it over to Yukon Striker. Got 2 rides on Yukon Striker. I utilized the single rider line. The normal line wait time was 60 minutes. I got each ride in about 35. Both times I was middle row, and I gotta say, this is my favorite dive coaster so far. Now, I've only been on Iron Menace and Valraven, but I love that the first main part of this ride is just non-stop, 4 inversions after that drop. Then you hit the mid-course brake run and things slow down a little bit, but that's okay because those first 4 elements plus the drop are awesome. It's super smooth, each element is massive, and it's pretty forceful, especially in that vertical loop. But I have to say my favorite inversion is probably that 0G roll. Because instead of just being like a regular 0G roll, halfway through it kind of like almost turns into a dive loop. And that's very unique. Loved it, very floaty. So I think now I'm actually going to go back to Behemoth because the wait time for that is looking like 45 minutes. That's not too bad. So let's see if we can get a ride on Behemoth. All right, so as I'm making my way over to Behemoth, I'm starting to kind of like get the feel for the different routes and pathways and stuff in this park, which is good. Because on day 2 when I'm here, I feel like I'll be able to maximize time. So today is kind of a learning experience, which I've mentioned before. But that's actually one of my favorite things about going to a park for the first time is just kind of getting to know it. It feels very exciting because everything is brand new. And then once you get to know it, you can really kind of like take advantage of the park. All right, back to Behemoth, 45 minutes, let's do it. There we go. Credit 197 Behemoth, the B&M Hypercoaster. That was really, really good. It reminded me a lot of Thunder Striker at Carowinds. It has kind of like offset stadium seating. This ride's all about the airtime. It's not really about positive forces. I mean, you get a little bit in the valleys, and at the end there's kind of this cool twister helix section, but there's just airtime hill after airtime hill after airtime hill, and I got amazing floater airtime on every single hill, and I was sitting towards the middle of the train. So it said it was going to be a 45-minute wait. It was really only a half hour, but I'm only just going to do one ride for now because I do Want to try to get that 200th Leviathan credit. And I think if I go over to that area of the park and ride Fyre and the wooden coaster Wild Beast, I'll be ready to tame Leviathan. Also, there was a really nice Behemoth shirt in the Behemoth shop. It's that style that has all the stats on the back. It was a nice navy heather blue, but I'm going to hold off on it for now because I saw some sweet Yukon striker hats. So I got to limit my spending, you know what I mean? All right, I've made it into the medieval fair section of the park on my way to Leviathan, and the theming in this area is really, really nice. I also stopped at Roadside Chicken and got a delicious chicken tender sandwich. It had this amazing sauce on it, so that was a nice little way to fuel up. All right, we're getting closer to Leviathan, so 2 more credits before the beast. All right, made it to Fyre. The wait on Fyre does not look long at all, so this is really good news. All right, credit 198, Fyre in the books. As far as aero loopers go, not horrible, but not good either. It's a drop, 2 loops, 2 corkscrews, and a helix. To be honest with you, it wasn't as rough as I thought it was going to be until I got to that helix, and then it was like headbang central. So let's get on to Wild Beast, and then it's time. All right, there's credit 199, Wild Beast at Canada's Wonderland. You know, this wooden coaster, it's the same exact layout as Grizzly at King's Dominion, but Grizzly is 100 times better, and it's because this ride is so rough, like insanely rough. So it needs to be retracked, or it needs some Titan track, or what I think should happen, I think they should RMC this one. This park doesn't have an RMC. They've got another wooden coaster in Mindbuster and also Ghoster Coaster. So I think this one, skip the Titan track, go the RMC treatment. Now let's get to Leviathan. All right, everyone, you might be saying to yourself, Mark, what are you doing at Alpenfury? You said you were going to Leviathan. Well, I went over to Leviathan and I did it. I got coaster credit number 200. Not only that, but Leviathan was also Giga completion for North America. I now have Millennium Force, Fury 325, Pantherian, aka I-305, Orion, and now Leviathan. I also have Steel Dragon 2000. So there's only one more Giga left in the world. I think it's Red Force or something in Europe, but that's like Top Thrill Dragster Light. But anyway, Leviathan, great B&M Giga. I still like Fury better. Fury's got a little bit more punch to it, or a little bit more intensity since it stays a little bit lower to the ground, but Leviathan is incredible. You get some really good airtime like you would on something like Behemoth or B&M Hyper, but then you also get like really good laterals and positive forces on some of those lower turns. Now, when I was on the ride, I got to talking with 3 people that were in my row, Roshana, Will, and Vic. They are a part of a group called the Black Coaster Society, so look them up, I believe, on Facebook and check out what they've got going on. But they invited me to come over to Alpenfury because they had a pass to get on at like 20 minutes after we got off Leviathan. So we got right on Alpenfury, and wow, like, I think I might like it better than Leviathan. I have to sit on things a little bit and process, but it was unbelievable. The pacing on Alpenfury is 10 out of 10. You go out of the station, do the mini launch, which has some punch, get some airtime, and then go down into the main launch in the mountain, and that is super fast. And you just shoot up and out, do a couple inversions, and then after that, I can't even remember the order of things because it was just element after element after element, non-stop inversions, laterals, airtime, floater, like everything. Like some of the inversions you were just kind of floating, and the best part about it all is that Premier Rides just did a lap bar. There's no over-the-shoulder restraints. So really, really good back-to-back 1-2 punch of Leviathan and Alpenfury. I need to process a little bit and think about where I want to go next, but thank you, Roshana, Will, and Vic, for inviting me. It was great to hang out with you for a little bit and get on a couple rides with you. So let's see what we can get on before the park closes. By the way, look at this just entanglement of roller coaster here. Vortex, Wonder Mountain's Guardian, Alpenfury, just all intertwined. So cool. Since I'm in the Wonder Mountain area, I think I'm actually going to finally get a ride on Vortex, the aero suspended coaster. These coasters don't really exist a whole lot anymore, but I will be on a couple of them on Coaster Tour North America. So let's get on Vortex. Whoa, Vortex, you surprised me. So that's a night ride. I was in 4th row, and you fly down that first drop alongside the mountain, and then the whole ride takes place over top of the water, and you're just doing these crazy high-speed turns. The car is swaying side to side. That was really fun, and I really loved it at night because it's kind of hard to see, adds a little bit of that layer of excitement to it. And when you fly up into the brake run, you get like completely swung to the side. That was really cool. Another amazing thing that happened is that when you go up the lift hill, you go to the top of the mountain, and then you do a 180-degree turn. And while we were doing that, Alpenfury launched out of the top of the mountain right next to us, and it was really cool to have that launch out at the same time that we got up there. So if you go on Vortex, I would actually wait till the nighttime. The line was actually a little bit less than earlier today, and I think it would be a better ride altogether. All right, so I just ran over to the Mighty Canadian Mindbuster and got an amazing night ride on this out and back wooden coaster. So the first half of the ride, they completely retract, and it's crazy smooth, so you get awesome airtime on all the little airtime hills. The return trip is definitely a little bit rockier, but it's not too bad. And then there is a massive helix at the end, and you just get flown to the side through a dark tunnel. You know, I miss night rides because I feel like a lot of parks close at like 7 or 8 o'clock now, so you're never able to get night rides on the coasters, and the night rides are some of the best experiences. So I'm glad I was able to get a night ride on this as well as Vortex. So I only waited like 10-15 minutes not too bad. That's a plus to waiting till nighttime as well, because a lot of people clear out. But Mindbuster, great night ride. Well, I'm at the front of the park. It is 11 p.m. So I ended my night by racing over to Leviathan, or Levi, as you know, I'm coming to know him, and got in line at like 9:45, just before they closed off the line. Made it all the way around in about 55 minutes or so, and got an incredible night ride on Leviathan in the back row. I'll tell you what, that is a great B&M Giga Coaster. Of the three, that, Fury, and Orion, I'd probably say it's my second favorite. I think Fury's just better because it's longer, it's got more elements, it's got a little bit more whip to it, but Leviathan, really, really good ride, and because it's my 200th credit, I got the Nano Coaster model, so had to commemorate that in that way. We did try to get one more ride on it, because when we pulled into the station after our ride, we got off, and then the people in the queue were loading because that was the last train, and there was only like 8 people, but they wouldn't let anyone get back on the ride. So because they said if they let me on, or someone else, I didn't ask, but someone else asked, and they said if we let you on, we have to let everyone else on, and we don't have enough seats for that. So they didn't let anyone ride, but that's okay. Great day here at Canada's Wonderland. Got some amazing credits, amazing rides. You know, it is tough here with the crowd, so you really do have to kind of figure things out if you're not going to splurge and get that fast lane. The fast lane plus, which will get you on, you know, Leviathan, Alpine Fury, and so forth, that costs $170 per person, plus your ticket. Now, I have my season pass with my All Parks passport, so I was able to use that, use my meal plan, use my drink plan, so that worked out well. But I just couldn't swing the fast lane, just couldn't do it. But I forgot to mention, my ride on Alpine Fury was in front row. So great day. That's going to end episode 4. Episode 5 of Coaster Tour North America will be here at Canada's Wonderland again. So subscribe and stay tuned for that. And until next time, keep on coasting.